What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today we're back for another update of the Southern Plains Model Airport series today. Today we're going to be taking it to Kansas, as today we're going to be doing an airport update on the Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower International Airport for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Welcome everybody to Wichita ICT. Really cool airport here with the Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport. Really awesome name to go along with such an awesome airport here. So really excited to come to Wichita today. I really hope to get to visit this airport in real life at some point. I have not got a chance to do so yet. It's about 2 hours from my location, so I'm hopeful to get to check it out sometime. Nevertheless, it's a really good looking airport, as you can see right here. So let's go ahead and get to some details in the history before we get into the actual airport update. So this airport was established in the mid 1920s. Wichita realized that it was time for an airport, so that's pretty much what happened when they opened the Wichita Municipal Airport. From there was various operations, including the Kansas Air National Guard was here during World War II, and then by summer of 1950, B-47 Stratojets were produced here, so that's really cool. And then this actually was the Wichita Air Force Base for a while, and then that got renamed to the McCauley Air Force Base, the Air Force Base on the east side of the airport, I should say, excuse me. But they have a really cool museum of the old concourse here that's really cool. And then they had quite a unique assortment of old air service. Wichita is right in the middle of the country, obviously, so they had a bunch of service from the east to the west coast and vice versa, where they would have various aircraft like, you know, DC-3s and all kinds of those very original aircraft that would stop in here for fuel and various reasons as well. So that was really cool to see. And then there was various services that they had in the 1950s, like Denver, Amarillo, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, on various airlines like Braniff, TWA, Continental, Central, and Ozark. So that's fantastic. And then let's see here. The old facility was built in 1976 and lasted until 2012 when this facility finally got built, which is really cool. It's a nice brand new facility to my knowledge. So they have all glass jet bridges, which is one of the coolest attributes of the airport in my opinion. Unfortunately, I only have 4, so that's all the more I can represent, but all these are glass, so just pretend they all look like that. So really cool to at least get to represent some of them. And then we have a nice assortment of gates here, as you can see. So let's go ahead, and I'm just making sure I didn't miss any major news. It was in March of 2014 when they renamed the airport to Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport, not international, excuse me for when I said that earlier. And then the new terminal actually opened in 2015. The groundbreaking was in 2012. So really cool. 12 gates, so fantastic. I don't know where the 12th one is, but nevertheless, I saw 11. So at some point, one possibly got removed, but plenty of new amenities as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the gates, airlines, and destinations. So let's go ahead and start down here at the end. Delta Airlines uses gates 1 and 2. They operate service to Atlanta and Minneapolis. I'm about to say it the wrong way, so fantastic. Get to see that right there. Gate 3 is used by a variety of carriers. American will use it on their overnights from my observations, but Allegiant also uses this gate. Allegiant Air operates to several cities from Wichita. They serve Las Vegas, Phoenix Mesa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, and then on a seasonal basis, Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Los Angeles, and Orlando. So that's really cool to see. Also important to note that Allegiant has been here for over 20 years. This was one of their first destinations. So really cool to see the establishment here for Allegiant and what they've done here at Wichita. Southwest Airlines uses gates 4 and 5. They have a few less services than what you've seen at Oklahoma City and Tulsa before. They serve Denver, Las Vegas, St. Louis, and Phoenix on a seasonal basis. So really cool. So Denver, St. Louis, both double daily, and then once daily for Las Vegas. And then Phoenix, when it's operating, it has been daily lately. So that's been really cool, but it's been known to be Saturday only service. So nevertheless, looking fantastic for those aircraft right here. And then you're going to find the legacy American Airlines gates for here for 7 and 8, excuse me. American Airlines has a variety of services now, which is really cool. So they've had for a long time Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago O'Hare, and those were their main 2 for a while, but recently started Washington National, Phoenix Sky Harbor, and Miami all-star, which is really cool. So Phoenix and Washington are on a daily basis, and then you're going to find that Miami is on a Saturday only basis. So overall, really cool. Those started all within the last year. So huge gain for Wichita to get service to the nation's capital, one of the premier beach destinations in the United States, and of course, sunny Arizona to supplement the Allegiant and Southwest service. So overall, really cool to see, and that's been fantastic to can see right there. Then we're going to come around the block here and find the United section, which is going to be gates 8, 9, and 10, I believe, are the ones that they actually own, and they also use 11 over there too, where the Alaska aircraft is. United Airlines operates service to Denver, Chicago O'Hare, and Houston on a variety of regional jets and mainline aircraft. So we'll take a look at those when we get to those. And lastly, gate 11, I don't know if it's actually owned by Alaska or if it's a common use gate, but that's the gate that Alaska uses here, and they do have a very cool service to Seattle, and United will also use this on the overnight service, hence why this Mesa is coming over here as well. So overall, a really nice variety of services. We have a bunch of really cool aircraft to take a look at today, and I'm really excited for today's update. And again, a bunch to talk about with Wichita, considering that this is why I really wanted to do airports around the Southern Plains, is to represent my region well. And also shout out to everybody that's done Wichita on YouTube before. I know it's been done a couple times, so really cool to get this iteration of it in here as well. So without any further delay, everybody, let's go ahead and get started here at the Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport. So right here, you're going to find this beautiful GeminiJets 1-400 scale Delta Connection Embraer ERJ-175 with the enhanced winglets operated by SkyWest Airlines. GeminiJets, thank you so much. Gorgeous glass jet bridge, as this aircraft is currently coming in from Minneapolis, St. Paul as DL3909. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 10:58 p.m., but arrives in way early at 10:14 p.m., about 45 minutes ahead of schedule. So a very impressive showing for this aircraft on this day. Left Minneapolis only 4 minutes behind what it was scheduled to. So absolutely crazy to see that. But as we talked about throughout in this series, Delta usually has 2 destinations for these airports that they serve. For Wichita, it's Minneapolis and Atlanta. And then obviously we've seen for Tulsa, for example, Atlanta and Salt Lake City. So overall, really cool to see MSP here. It's a great service, and I think it does them well. Wichita doesn't have as many services out west compared to a city like Tulsa, so I think it's kind of interesting that it's not SLC, but they also don't have as many northern links. I think Chicago is really the only major one. So yeah, certainly interesting, but nevertheless, it gets the job done for what they're doing, and it's a really cool service. So Delta 175 is heading out to Minneapolis, St. Paul. The next aircraft we're going to take a look at here at gate number 2 is this Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800. This aircraft currently coming in from Atlanta as DL2959. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 10:55 p.m., but arrives in 5 minutes behind at 11 p.m. on the dot. So overall, pretty good for a flight time of 2 hours and 17 minutes. So like I was just saying, this is the other link for Delta, which is a very critical one with their massive Atlanta establishment. Typically 3 daily flights, 2 are usually on RJs and 1's on a Boeing 737-800, which is a really cool service for them. So been awesome to see that. I think they do really well with it. So overall, really cool to see this, and I think it's a really cool service here. But this Delta 737-800 will be heading out to Atlanta. And at gate 3, we have the gorgeous Allegiant Air Airbus E320-200 with the Sharklets. Again, Allegiant has been a major player here at Wichita, serving the airport for over 20 years now, which is fantastic. This particular aircraft is going to be coming in from Phoenix Mesa as G4 3215. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 6:33 p.m., but arrives in at 6:27 p.m. Flight time 1 hour and 46 minutes. This flight particularly is from February 18th of 2023, which was a Monday, and the rest of the flights are from Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. So this flight was actually on Sunday. Sorry, I got my days backwards. But anyways, Allegiant, really cool operation. Destin, Tampa, Orlando, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Los Angeles. So all the major sunny cities that you would expect the Sunshine Airline to fly to. So yeah, Allegiant, really good operation here, and certainly glad to see that they've been successful with what they've been doing. It is interesting to note that Orlando, Los Angeles, and Tampa, those 3 are on a seasonal basis. Kind of interesting, but nevertheless, it still does a good job here, and they have a nice variety of service for their budget-friendly customers. So great to see that for Wichita, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And here at gate number 4, we have the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8. This aircraft is in a heart livery with the standard winglets for the MAX. This aircraft is arriving in from St. Louis. It's WN2678. This aircraft is scheduled to arrive in at 11 p.m., but arrives in at 11:14 p.m., 14 minutes behind, good for a flight time of 1 hour and 6 minutes. So Southwest with the St. Louis and Denver services, it's kind of interesting that they don't have Dallas Love Field or another supplement to that. But that's what they got. And then, of course, they serve the Southwest region. I mean, how could you not as Southwest Airlines? So, yeah, it certainly is good for their connecting passengers. They certainly maximize the capacity of these aircraft flying them in here. So, yeah, fantastic. I think Southwest started like 10 years ago to the Wichita. So, they've been an awesome addition here at the airport, and they've really done well. So, it's been awesome. And definitely we'll have to check out some load factors and see how they've done, because been interesting to see their presence here at Wichita. And then here at gate number 5, we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700. This aircraft is coming in from Denver as WN3152. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 10 p.m. and arrives in 1 minute early at 9:59 p.m. Good for a flight time of 51 minutes. So pretty short hop for this particular aircraft. And again, very important connection there to Denver to compete with the other airline that we'll see down the road here in just a minute. But overall, really great service, and that looks really awesome for that aircraft. And our next aircraft up the bat will be, let me see, okay, there's been that line in the way the whole time, so let me just go ahead and remove that so we don't have to look at that anymore, because I want the planes to be clean, but I also didn't want this to be shaded the whole time, so getting a little balance in here. Here at gate number 7, we have this American Airlines Airbus A319 with Shotcut. This aircraft arrived in from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport as American Airlines Flight 2863. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 11:58 p.m., but arrives in the next day at midnight on the dot. Good for a flight time 56 minutes. American Airlines has had a very long establishment here, mainly with their Dallas and Chicago services, the aforementioned services, but they've recently added Phoenix, Washington National, and Miami, which has been very cool. I've been super happy to see Wichita with the grind there. It's been fantastic to see these new destinations and also upgauges. American for a long time flew MD-80s in the Wichita and other mainline aircraft, and then they balanced it between the ERJ-175 for the most part with some A319s too. So overall, looking great. They get quite a bit of mainline during the summer too, so that's quite nice. But overall, looking good for that particular aircraft. And moving on to gate number 8, where we have this American Eagle CRJ-700, which will highlight our first new service for American here. This aircraft's coming in from Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport on the overnight service. American Airlines Flight 3225. Yikes, excuse me. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 11:21 p.m., but arrives in at 11:04 p.m. Good for a flight time of 1 hour and 36 minutes. This service is only going to grow. Phoenix is a great place for tourism, but also for connecting opportunities. So really important here when you don't have a city like Charlotte, which I'm really surprised Wichita doesn't have Charlotte. I don't think US Airways ever served here either, so that would kind of explain that. But yeah, when you don't have that, it's really important to have some sort of link to supplement your Dallas and Chicago main establishments. So I'm glad to see Phoenix be that city and also get in that the leisure travel that goes there too. So overall, a really smart choice for American. I think that is super, super awesome right there. Actually, I might be a gate off. I apologize. This is gate number 8 right here. So going into the United Airlines section, here we go at gate number 8 with this United Airlines Airbus A319 in the Evo Blue livery. This aircraft's arriving in from Chicago O'Hare as UA1301. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 10 p.m., but it lands slightly early at 9:54 p.m. Good for flight time of 1 hour and 32 minutes. Wichita has 2 mainline aircraft, one from Chicago and one from Denver, which is very impressive. Their Houston service is the RJ, so kind of like what we saw with Delta, how they have 2 destinations at every airport. It seems like United likes to, if they can, fly 2 mainline aircraft into some of these bigger airports. So Tulsa obviously has Houston, Denver. Oklahoma City usually has Houston, Denver. And then we see Wichita here that has Denver and Chicago, which is really cool. So they do really well with the service as well. Another reason that Houston probably doesn't have as much mainline is it's a little bit tougher to connect from here, and there's a little bit less point-to-point demand than comparing to a city like Tulsa, for example. So overall, though, looking very good. Really cool mainline here for United, and I think it's a really great service. So looks fantastic, and glad to see that. And here's the supplementing Denver mainline with this Airbus A319 in the Continental Glow livery arriving in. Scheduled to arrive at 8:04 p.m. This aircraft arrives in at 7:39 p.m. early on the arrival, good for flight time 55 minutes. So once again, another really good service here for it. United looks really great. They do really good with that service, so very happy for United in that regard. 4 daily main lines, or you wish, 4 daily services, 1 daily main line. Overall, a really good service here. Chicago, I think, is 2 CRJ200 and then the 319, which is an interesting balance for Chicago, but overall looking good. So great to see that aircraft, and that's looking very nice right there. And then right here, we're going to find this Mesa Airlines CRJ-900. This is the elephant in the room coming in from Houston. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in with macro mode. Hopefully not again. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 9 p.m., I believe. I'm trying to find it. 10 p.m., but this aircraft ends up arriving in at 9:52 p.m. Good for a flight time 1 hour and 25 minutes. Still several frequencies to Houston. They have operated mainline in the past here. It might come back. We'll see. But for now, the CRJs are doing a good job on it, and glad to see United doing what they do best here with their partner in Mesa. So looking fantastic for that aircraft right there, to say the very least. And then right here we have this Alaska Embraer EarData-175 on the behalf of SkyWest Airlines. This is a very cool service arriving in from Seattle, Tacoma, and they actually don't operate this flight on Tuesdays, surprisingly, so I'm going to have to get it for Wednesday, February 21st is where it's going to come from. So this is AS2117 arriving in from Seattle as that flight number. It's scheduled to arrive at 1:20 p.m. This aircraft arrives in at 1:11 p.m. Good for a flight time of 2 hours and 52 minutes, so certainly a hot girl hike for that particular aircraft. Awesome to see Alaska with a really cool service here. SkyWest does have a maintenance hangar here, so that might be a contributing factor. Otherwise, this is a legit, genuine demand service, and they do really good with it. I mean, I've seen it 95, 96% all the time, so they are certainly brimming the 175 to Seattle on a daily basis, and it's really cool, and rightfully so. There's no New York service here, which is quite surprising, and there's a couple of other regions that are not served very much. You only have like 5 weekly services to Florida and so on and so forth. So yeah, certainly more air services coming for Wichita, I can guarantee that. But nevertheless, really cool Alaska service, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So let me go ahead and get these aircraft back into the light so we can take a look. Here is the second overnight here for United on the CRJ 900 from Mesa, the gray one that is. This one's going into gate 11 once Alaska pushes back. Coming in from Denver, this aircraft was scheduled to arrive in, let me get the back to Tuesday information, at 11:18 p.m., but ends up arriving at 10:56 p.m. UA 6235, good flight time 53 minutes, so a nice tailwind once again. So really cool to see all the action here. 4 overnights here for United, it's really solid. So great job by United, and they do a really good job with their services here at Wichita. This Delta A321 came in, this was on Tuesday, February 20th. This came in from Detroit as DL302. I think it was a diversion due to fuel or equivalent. So this came in from Detroit and then went on to San Diego, but I thought it was really cool to see here. So that's fantastic. Also, a big shout out to Jason Whitebird for taking this picture. He's a really cool guy in Tulsa area, so it was a really good picture at Denver, so I couldn't pass up not featuring that. But anyways, yeah, cool diversion. I just thought I'd feature it for fun to get some variety in here as well. Then we have this ExoJet Cessna Citation X as this aircraft is taxiing out for departure, heading out to Dodge City after coming in earlier today from Fort Lauderdale, so cool to see that aircraft on the go. Then we have this American Eagle Embraer EarData-175. This aircraft, we'll say that he's coming in from Washington to get the full grasp, even though it doesn't fit the time frame as well. Very similar to the Alaska service, but I want to feature all the services. So this aircraft is coming in from Washington National as American Airlines flight. And of course I click off of it right as I get to the information. That's fantastic, isn't it? Let me get the information back here so we can take a look. American Airlines flight 3701. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 2:09 p.m. but ends up landing at 1:35 p.m. Good flight time, 2 hours 39 minutes. Definitely a pretty solid hike for that. But again, this is really cool to see Washington finally served. I don't know when the last time we had a Washington service at Wichita was, so a huge gain, and I'm sure everybody's very happy about it. So great job, American, coming in from Washington. We'll take the A319 gate, we'll say, and looking good. UPS Boeing 757-200 freighter coming in from Louisville as 5X672. This aircraft was scheduled to arrive in at 5:48 a.m., but then lands at 5:31 a.m., so 1 hour 32 minute flight time. Also not really realistic with the time frame, but hey, we have to get all these services in. So that's what you're seeing with that aircraft, and the cargo goes well here. FedEx and 75s too, so ultimately a good lineup of aircraft. And last but certainly not least, we have this American Eagle Embraer EarData-170 coming in from Chicago here on the overnight American Airlines flight 3755. This aircraft is scheduled to arrive at 8:37 p.m. but lands at 7:56 p.m. way early, and then 1 hour and 30 minute flight time. So yeah, Chicago service really cool. Definitely some good capacity to hold up with the United service. So overall, Wichita's a really cool airport. I really hope all of you enjoyed this. Love the glass jet bridges. Definitely hope to fly out of here in the future. I'm sure it will happen at some point. So I'm looking very forward to it and seeing what the airport's all about. I've laid it out now at home, so now I will know what I'm getting myself into. I really want to board through one of those glass jet bridges. Speaking of which, I don't think that I have boarded through a glass jet bridge before. At least it's not coming to mind, so I really hope that that will be the time to do it. So again, I really hope you all enjoyed this video on Wichita. I think it's a really cool airport and definitely excited to go here at some point and check it out and see what it's all about. Nevertheless, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Just process. Do you love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.